Hello, my name is Mark, and I thank you so much for coming by today. If you're one of the thousands of people who are preparing to take part in one of the many upcoming online creative challenges, then the countdown to October has finally begun. With less than 1 week until the excitement of our favorite challenges begin, we can already start to feel our hearts beating a little bit faster and our creative spirits getting ready to jump right into the action. Some people can take it all in stride and not be affected at all by the thrill of such intense creative challenges. Yet others can feel the waves of anticipation going into this all-encompassing undertaking. For me, well, I'm a mix of both. I work a full-time job, do freelance work at night, and maintain a busy household and family. My life already has plenty of things to juggle, so there's a lot of pressure to add a drawing challenge and come up with original artwork every day for 31 days. But the great thing is that there's a ton of support out there on different platforms like Facebook or Instagram. Whether we like sharing our work online, discussing other people's work, or simply being a silent observer, there's so much to take away from these challenges, it's really hard to resist. What's even better is when we have support from the inside, like our family or friends, who are either doing the challenges themselves or who enjoy seeing the results of what we produce. I'm fortunate to have a lot of great relationships with people in all kinds of creative fields who all seem to enjoy the work I produce throughout my challenge. But for those of us who work in a creative field, it means we have to be creative every day for our job. Yet, it's still daunting to come up with fresh new ideas every day, to know which direction we want to go in, and how to keep each piece cohesive to the entire body of work we're creating. And for those who don't work in the creative field, well, I imagine the challenges can be even more daunting. And that's why I wanted to share some of these ideas with you today. There are so many things I want to try every year, but there's just never enough time to explore them all. So typically, I'll prepare for the challenge the week before, getting my materials and my space ready, and then come up with a plan on how I'd like to approach the challenge. I want to make it easy enough to manage, hard enough that I learn something, and enough fun for me to keep going right through the end of the challenge. Like I've said before, if a challenge stops being fun for me and starts becoming a chore or causing me stress, that's when I stop and realize I'm forcing myself to do something that I'm not enjoying. And that's okay, because there's no rule that says I have to finish a challenge once I start. I can always stop and pick it up again later, or I can always just sit back and enjoy watching and discussing the amazing work created by artists from all over the world. But for now, I don't even want to think about stopping. I'm too busy thinking about new ways to approach the challenge. I'll be doing the Inktober challenge again this year, despite any of the controversy that's been surrounding it. It's the ideal challenge for me, and I always go in on my own terms, and I ignore the silly rules that someone else laid out. For me, it's a way to test myself in the medium that I love the most. I usually just jump right into the challenge on the first day and start by looking at the word prompt and seeing what comes to mind. But this year, I'd like to step outside the box and try something a little different. And if I'm thinking this way, I always figure there's got to be other people thinking this way too. So, to share some of the ideas that I'm considering this year, here's a list of approaches that might be of interest to you too. And if not this year, maybe during a different time of the year or even next year. The first idea is to create a journal. Instead of trying to find a unique or clever solution every day, another idea could be to create a journal or diary in which we log our experiences throughout the day. Then we can incorporate small sketches or doodles around our entry as a visual companion to those experiences. Somewhere within those doodles, we can incorporate a small drawing of the prompt word. I'm thinking that a journal entry would contain honest writings about our daily experiences, both from life and from the challenge perspective. And the doodles can be anything relevant from our experiences or just random objects we see around us. In 2019, on day 17, the prompt word for Inktober was the word ornament. I can totally see adding fun, decorative ornaments to our journal entry, which would be a great solution to that day's word prompt. And the best part is, it probably wouldn't even take very long to do. Number 2, create a full prompt drawing. Using a full page, whether large or small, a fun idea could be to incorporate all the prompts into one drawing, one day at a time. It's a great exercise in free-form, stream-of-conscious drawing, and there doesn't have to be any rhyme or reason to it. Now, I'm not the first person to have this idea, but it's all in how we approach it that makes it unique. For me, I've always wanted to create a large poster-sized drawing that included all the word prompts, adding one drawing at a time, one day at a time, and maybe base it on some kind of a theme. Number 3, creating a story using all the prompts. Much like the full-page drawing, creating a story is a much more focused and intentional way to tie all the word prompts together in a structured format that can really take on a life of its own. For example, we could take just a few words from the 2019 list and create a really brief story. I've chosen a few words: tread, treasure, ghost, ancient, and dizzy to create a simple story that can just be an example of how specific images can be formed that we can draw from. For example, my story might go like this. As they skillfully tread upon the Mayan temple, the treasure hunters unleashed a ghost that chased them off the ancient ruin, leaving them dizzy and disoriented, running for their lives. Using all the prompt words to create a story could be its own challenge, but the cool thing is that we could actually write the story part in advance and then use that to create our daily drawings. Number 4, movie posters or advertisements. Another idea could be to create small mock movie posters or magazine ads for each of the word prompts. They wouldn't have to be too heavy on detail, but simply capture the idea. Again, from 2019, I could see a movie poster for a film called Mindless, which might be a zombie thriller, or maybe even a film about a person obsessed creating skyscrapers out of French fries and called Build. We could use the words wild or enchanted to create magazine ads like Wild Shampoo or Enchanted Tortilla Chips. The only limitation we have is with our own imagination. Number 5, create logos and package designs. For those who like to create really tight drawings, and especially for digital artists, we could use the word prompts to create some really cool, effective logos and package designs. For any aspiring graphic artists or designers, this kind of approach to a challenge could be a great way of sharpening skills in interpreting what a client might be looking for to represent their product. I mean, just imagine what the logo for Wild Shampoo might look like, or the package design for Enchanted Tortilla Chips. And with a word like misfit, my mind is already coming up with a really fun solution for a brand called Misfit Jeans. Number 6, wear an artist costume. Since these challenges take place in October, the spirit of Halloween is in full swing. So why not dress our creative spirit up in a costume of our favorite artists and create work in their mindset? I can just imagine seeing work in the style of Edward Gorey, Beatrix Potter, or even Jean-Michel Basquiat. And we can go further by dressing up in the style of Disney, Ghibli Studios, Rick and Morty, One Piece, or Dragon Ball. Number 7, create a themed set. Something else we can do is take each of the word prompts and apply them to a specific themed set, like hats, cars, flower pots, or even furry animals. I can see an entire themed set of ice cream cones. For example, using the word bait, we could apply a fishing concept where the waffle cone becomes the scaly body of a fish, and a hook sits within the ice cream on top, making this bait a very tempting yet dangerous treat. And each ice cream cone in the set would be unique to the word prompt for each day. Number 8, create a coloring book. Coloring books are a favorite among kids and adults alike. Creating a coloring page for each prompt would not only be really cool to look at because we'd have to create bold outlines instead of fine details, but also that by the end of the challenge we could have enough artwork that we could actually sell it as a complete coloring book. Using prompt words like ring or pattern open the door for really interesting, expansive drawings that just beg for color. Number 9, combine challenges. With so many different challenges going on, another approach could be to come up with our own Frankenstein prompt list, borrowing from all the other challenges like Inktober, Drawlloween, Spooktober, and even Ocpo Writemo, the October Poetry Writing Month. For many people, there are strict rules they follow when taking on these challenges, and that's fine for them. For others, however, they prefer to customize the challenge to their liking. So picking and choosing prompts from various challenges and maybe even creating our own unique prompt list will most definitely produce some really interesting and amazing results. And lastly, number 10, draw out the words. When we just don't know what to do for the prompts, instead of giving up, a neat approach is always to draw out the words. In the many years I've been doing Inktober, I always try to come up with a drawing and then draw the actual words separately. It's fun for me, and I always think, I should just draw the words next year. Taking a word like dragon, I can imagine creating each letter with the scales of a dragon and having the letter D breathe fire. In addition, we could always add a brief definition to the word or even write out how to use it in a sentence. Like I said, these challenges are for our own personal enjoyment and artistic growth. Yes, there are strict rules that govern certain creative challenges, but there's always enough ways to do them that don't involve these strict rules. No matter which approach we decide on, the primary goal is to have fun, learn a little something, and to create a body of work we can be proud of to share with our friends, family, and the online community if we choose. I'm so excited for this year's challenges and to see the incredible work that always blows me away, inspires me, and even makes me experience a little bit of art envy, but only in the best way. I hope you found these approaches to be interesting and maybe something you might consider trying. I'd love to hear how you plan to take on the upcoming challenges and what your approach will be, so please let me know in your comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this discussion. I'd love to continue bringing new content like this to you, so to support my channel and help it grow, please subscribe and share with other people who are on their own creative journey. If you're planning on doing any of the upcoming challenges this year, I wish you the most fun and positive experience. Again, I thank you so much for your time. Please stay safe and healthy, and as always, God bless.